Armita here from Cooking with Armita. I am so excited and honored to be partnering up with Farhang Foundation as part of their Kitchen Flavor Special. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a traditional Iranian soup. It's the Pistachio-Saffron orange soup. Recipes and all the ingredients are going to be posted online, so you can refer to that. So why don't you join me and follow me in my kitchen as we will cook away, and I will also talk about design and decorating this flavorful, tasty soup, because I believe that the way a dish looks is really important in enhancing our flavors and our eating experience. So come on and join me and let's cook. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to heat our oil under medium heat. Once it's heated, I'm going to add and saute the onions and the grated ginger there for about 5 minutes. Okay, please make sure that your oil is heated because the onions are going to absorb the oil if it is not. So I'm going to put there. So we're going to saute this for about 5 minutes. So it's important to use a laminated cast iron pot. 5 minutes has been up. I've already sauteed my onions and garlic. Now I added all the spices. So we have coriander, salt and pepper, cumin. There's a grated ginger. So you can see that we're gonna saute this for about 1 minute, and then we're gonna add our leeks to it. Already smelling so good. So it's been a minute and I have sauteed all the spices in there. I'm gonna add the leeks, which is one of the main ingredients other than pistachios. We're gonna saute this for a few minutes under medium heat, and then I will be adding 8 cups of water and chicken broth combined. So I use, because I like the flavor, I've used about 5 cups of chicken broth and then the rest with water. So I'm going to saute the leeks for a few minutes. Again, you want to make sure that this is on medium heat. They're finely chopped and all the green parts are included. Don't worry if it's not too chopped, because we will blend it at the end, because we want a really smooth texture of this soup. So it's been a few minutes and I have sauteed the leeks. Okay, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add our broth. If you don't want chicken, you can substitute vegetable broth instead. I will be adding the broth. So the pistachio is grinded using a food processor, and we're gonna add that to the mix. So here's our broth, and this is our pistachio. We're gonna stir this for a few minutes and we're gonna cover it. So I'm gonna reduce my heat and let it simmer for about 50 minutes. Okay, so 55 minutes has passed and I'm excited because this soup looks amazing and it smells delicious. But we're gonna spice it up a bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add saffron water and I'm gonna add my orange juice to this, and we're gonna let this simmer for about a minute or two. So I'm just gonna gently just look at it. It smells so good. You have that orangey flavor, you have the saffron smell and all the spices. So we'll let this simmer for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to blend everything with a hand blender. Okay, so this already smells really amazing. Now what I'm going to do is I want a smooth texture for this soup. I'm going to use a hand blender and I'm going to be blending it. Make sure that your oven is off because it's really hot and you don't want to burn yourself. If you want the soup to be a little bit thicker, you can add cream. For the purposes of this recipe, I'm not adding anything because the flavors are already, their aromas and the flavors are already amazing, and I don't want to take away from that. So very slowly, under low pressure, I'm going to blended it. You can let it cool off a little bit and then you can serve it. I'm going to move on to teach you how to plate this delicious soup that is originally from Kerman. Okay, so there we have it. A little bit about this soup. So this soup is from Kerman, a province in Iran. A lot of recipes are with pistachio, and it's perfect for the winter because it's really cozy and it tastes delicious. Unfortunately, it's a very, very traditional soup and not that many people make it these days. So I'm hoping that by teaching you this recipe, you can travel to the past and get a taste of Iran. I'm passionate about regional recipes, so I think what a perfect way than learning a traditional Iranian Kermani soup that you can have in wintertime. So there you have it, and now I'm going to plate it for you. So for those of you who follow my page or are familiar with my work, you know that I like food design and decorating my food. So what I'm going to show you is how to take this delicious, simple soup with all the fragrances and the beautiful green color that it has, and I'm going to be decorating it with edible flowers. You can use any flower that's available in your home, sunflower, hibiscus, if you have rose flower, as long as it's edible. What we're going to use, even though this is not part of the traditional recipe, I'm going to be using chives, and what I'm going to show you, what I'm going to do is just going to take them. It's super simple, and you're going to tie a knot, okay? So I'm going to tie a knot and just really gently insert one of the flowers in the knot and then close it. So that's going to be one, okay? I'm going to do a few, and then we're going to lay it on the soup, and it's going to look like a flower field. Just make sure that your the herbs are not super dry because they're gonna break. So as long as they're fresh, see, I'm gonna insert the flower in there, and then I'm gonna close it. This is the second one. Okay. Feel free to use whatever you have available. You can even use herbs. If you have thyme, they have nice textures and leaves. There's a whole range of herbs and edible flowers that we could use in cooking to just enhance the look and make it from an ordinary looking soup to something really beautiful and unique. So I'm almost done with tying the knots. The next step is, depending on how much seasoning you have. I think the seasoning for this is pretty good for me. Some people might like the soup a little bit more spicy. You can add some black pepper to it if you want. So I'll just add a dash of, just gonna kind of lay it over on the soup. Now I'm gonna lay these chives and flowers on top of the soup. So you have to be very gentle, and you have to make sure you kind of want the flower to point up as much as you can. I use a lot of edible flowers in my cooking. So I have a pretty kind of wide collection of it when I'm plating my dishes. There's also lavender here, so if you want, you could use lavender. The reason I chose these flowers are because of the contrast of the colors and how delicate they are. So they're not overpowering the look of the soup, because the soup already has kind of beautiful texture and beautiful nice green color to it. So I'm going to take just a few pieces of that, because we also don't want the texture and the taste of the soup to be overpowered by these flowers. I like to make food look pretty, and if you see my Instagram page, you'll know what I mean. Okay, so there you have it. You have the pistachio, saffron, and sour orange. Sour orange, we call it naranj in Iran, and I didn't have sour orange, so I substituted lemon and orange instead. Sometimes you gotta work and be creative and work with what you have. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna put this a little bit closer. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like this recipe, you can check out my Instagram at Cooking with Armita, where I share regional Iranian recipes and also talk about food design and post pictures of different versions of plating food. Well, enjoy, Nusha Jan, and hopefully see you soon.